Not much change with Season 4 on druids, no, 5% nerfed, but everything is exactly the same. Well, close the same because we need to heal a little bit more. Of course we don't have gear yet, but let's have a look on all of it once again. So, starting with the stats. This will be much more stats because I still have old gear. Sadly, I'm getting something I cannot replace because it's set pieces and stuff. Whatever. So don't take this like inspiration. You should have this. You will have much more stats than this. But haste is definitely still most priority. So top priority is haste. Go even to 6,800. That's second diminishing. So after 6,800 we are already getting 20% less stats. So that's a good point to stop. But up to that point, just feel free to go for it. Second priority is our versatility because it's also important in dungeons. Guess what? To survive, so that's increasing our survivability, is increasing our damage too, not only healing, and of course it's still healing increase, just increase to everything. Ideally, you want to go over 5,000, I have 6,000 because this trinket is giving me 700 versatility, but you shouldn't go over 6,000, and then you are going for critical mastery. If you want to go full or damage, go for that critical and zero mastery. But mastery is really good for healing. So it's nice to have some mastery too. So the nice balanced way is to have haste versatility and a mastery about 3000. If you want a little bit more pump from mastery, a little bit better healing, go more mastery, or more damage, go more critical than mastery. But of course we will have much more as overall with new gears, with new item levels, so these stats will be getting higher. So just keep in mind our like soft caps we shouldn't go over. Haste is already over first soft cap, but it's alright. We are going for second soft cap because we just really love haste on Resto Druid. So haste, don't go over 6,800. For versatility, don't go over 6,150. And then the rest pump to mastery and critical strike. Continuing to talents. Oh, I forgot to switch myself from rate. Talents is a little bit mess. Well, not mess. There is many choices. Resto Druid have quite many choices what to choose from talents. Exactly these ones are what I like to play, what many people are playing, what most people are playing on push. Of course, this is also tweaks, depend on which dungeon they are going, and if it's tyrannical 45, stuff like that. So let's start with these ones. Then we'll go for full healing and full DPS. All the imports link will be in the description. So this is like overall good for everything. You will do some damage, you will do decent healing. Some tweaks you can do here if you don't need this spell. Of course, you don't need it. You can use that points to hibernate. If you need affix, because when it's incorporeal, of course you need to put it to sleep. So definitely go for that. Then Typhoon is quite important these dungeons because there is so many enemies that are casting and need to be stopped. So Typhoon, I would even say, is must have now. I didn't choose it for many dungeons previously, but now absolutely huge to stop that cast that can possibly even wipe you if they go through. So of course, if you don't need it or you never use it anyway, just take points from there. Then you have these two talents. This is very important. If you are going hierarchies, you need to start choosing Ursing Vigor to survive some big explosions. You will know which one you need. In some dungeons you don't need it, in some dungeons you need. Usually worth it on Tyrannical because usually pegs are not problem with that, or usually you just hide somewhere behind a pillar or something like that. And you can also take your regeneration. And from the right side, if you are going very high keys, then it's worth to get your improved regrowth. You can take reforestation. Of course, it's hard sell because these are good talents. We can take flourish. Reforestation is a little bit better to sacrifice. It's hard sell, but if you need to overheal single target, this is the best choice. In previous season, I know there was many situations then only one target was dying. But if you're not going very high keys, just keep right side untouched. It's good enough. Okay, let's have a look on full healing build and full damage build. So, with a full healing build, there's Few changes, of course. We don't need any damage from this side because we won't go to the kitty, because we don't want to play kitty. It's your choice, I don't care. To take Head of the Wild too. And you go down here, Vertex, Mazroot is on your. You go Innervate. And then you will still take point from heals. Because you still really want to have rejuvenation points over there. So this is your ideally just pure healing build, the right side. Can be exactly the same. So let's get it back, and if you are just going lower key and I want to focus absolutely full damage, then you will swap even these ones. You will go to the left, and from the right side you don't need reforestation. You will put it to budding leaves. If you have stronger life blooms, that means you need to switch less from the kitty. And also you will pick Convoke over here. That is absolutely a great ability to have for just doing damage. Alright. Back to the middle, so this and all other imports will be in the description. So now about gameplay rotation priority, whatever you want to call it. Few things to keep in mind before we go over priorities, that Restoration Druid need to change its priority depend on how fast you need to heal, or rather how soon the damage is coming. So if you are prepared maximum and we have time and we didn't do damage before, we click different orders, and when it was just smacking damage, didn't realize, oh, big damage is coming, I need to heal. So of course priorities will change a little, and you need to have a little bit practice to just feel like how many spells you need to use to heal enough for damage that is coming. Second important thing to keep in mind when I'm playing Resto Druid healer is your mastery. So your mastery is healing more, the more healing over time effects you have on the target. So every single little hurt, even is not a huge heal, it's matter a lot. If some targets are dying more than others, just keep applying other heals. Even I would check over here, like Rejuvenation, I casted 125 times and healing is not huge, even overheal more than 50%, but it doesn't matter that much because I was using it as another hot on the targets that was increasing heals of everybody else, and it's also proccing Live Bloom to bloom, then proc Verdancy through that. So this is also close heal with Rejuvenation. So it's not only about pure healing output, but it's also about thinking, oh, this is another hot, oh, this is another hot, oh, that will increase the much better heal. But I need these hots to then heal much more. So, back on the priorities. First topmost priority is our Adaptive Swarm. When you are running between the groups, when you are starting the key, before you start the key, start preparing it. And be really careful to use it as soon as possible when it's come off cooldown. Because if you don't use it soon enough, previous stacks will disappear and you won't spread it. But if you are using fast enough, it will be just multiplying. I will have everyone covered by flies. So easy thing is just keep in mind, always click it. And what is Adaptive Swarm is another hot for your mastery. It's increasing healing over time by 20%. Is doing really decent damage overall. Let me see dungeon. 10-11 millions for something that we use only for healing, mostly. That's our plan, right? So absolutely crucial and important, keep using those flies when you are ready, when cooldown is ready. And even nothing is happening, you are just waiting, you are just running, or no damage is coming to the group, still use them on cooldown. It will do some damage if nothing, or it will be prepared. If you use one flies, there is probability there will be non-stop spreading everywhere. So even one single click of flies can be huge defense for your healing. Alright, second point, and this one is a big point, is our live blooms. We have 2 live blooms in dungeons. So first thing, generally we shouldn't use it on ourselves. Of course there are specific situations, but for simple understanding, if you are just learning Druid and something like that, don't think about it to have it on yourself. Just go for it. Don't use it on yourself. Only use on yourself if you need to be healed the most. Like you are getting bleed in Uldaman boss. So you are getting huge single target damage. So if you are the one who is getting huge single target damage, or you are the one of 2, then go for it. If you need to heal more targets, just keep it on others. Of course, on yourself, you are increasing your periodic heals by 20%. But you are going for live bloom blooms, That means while Live Bloom is on ally, your periodic heals on them have 4% chance to bloom. So that's what we want, that Live Bloom. And that's why we want to use rather on others. On yourself, just when you need healing for yourself. Just only you. You are the dying. Everybody else is alright. Of course, there are situations it could be used, but let's not think about it. Let's make it much simpler. Just use it on others. And of course, usually on tank and some DPS. I always prefer DPS that is ranged, because when I'm fighting some groups like this is melee, and tank is tanking back, so he's close. Melee is definitely close because they want to do damage, and I will stand in efflorescence too. And usually ranged DPS are not standing in efflorescence. That means they are not getting heal from efflorescence, they are not getting healed from verdancy, they are not having another healing over time effect on them. And that means they are getting less heal if they are not standing in it. That's why I prefer to have Live Bloom on them, because of course Live Bloom is a huge heal, and also Live Bloom is casting as 3 stacks of mastery, so it's a huge healing increase to the targets. If tank is alright, on bosses tank is alright, whole group will getting huge damage and stuff like that, I'm using on 2 DPS, ideally again on ranged, because they are not standing in efflorescence that often. So another thing about Live Blooms, I already mentioned it a little. So with the Live Bloom, you have chance to bloom it. Of course, Live Bloom is blooming on the end of the duration. That instant heal on the end of duration, also when dispelled, but that won't happen in dungeon. But we have this photosynthesis. That means any periodic heal on the target with Live Bloom will cause it to bloom. So that's another big extra heal. But that's not all, because when Live Bloom blooms, it will proc verdancy, and that means everybody in your efflorescence will get heal. Well, everybody, 3 targets, sorry. 3 targets in your efflorescence will get heals. So, blooming Live Blooms are quite huge. So not only Live Bloom is increasing mastery 3 times, not only is healing on its own a lot, it's also proccing extra heals, big blooms, and double healing to verdancy on our efflorescence place. And not only that, but every single heal of the Live Bloom has a chance to proc our color casting, and I will talk about it more soon. Color casting is that huge proc for our set piece. That is absolutely massive heal, and that's how we are healing those dungeons. So it's absolutely huge things. Keep Live Blooms, keep using them, and they are healing on its own, they are healing decently. Let me go back to dungeon. Like this is Nourish, this is trees, and our set piece with clear casting. And that clear casting is proccing from Live Bloom. So you can see overheal 67%, because even if nothing is happening, you want to keep Live Blooms up so you can get proc that clear casting, so you are ready for next damage. It will come. That's free cast of regrowth that will heal a lot to our set piece. More about it later. So Live Bloom, absolutely crucial. Very important ability to pay attention to and always spread it. And with that extra bloom chance, that means targets with the Live Bloom, the more healing over time effects is another. From efflorescence is not showing on my UI because that would be mess. The more you have, the more chance for it to bloom and more chance for verdancy to be effective. So we can focus more to have more HOTS on the targets with Live Bloom. Even that targets with Live Bloom are usually more full than others because Live Bloom is healing like a beast. But the more you will put on the targets healing over time effects, that means others will get healed through verdancy. So it's not just waste when you click some rejuvenation on full target with Live Bloom. It's giving you more chances for Live Bloom to bloom, then verdancy, then everybody else is getting healed. Well, everybody else, 3 targets. I said it wrong once again. Whew, okay, enough of Live Bloom. Live Bloom is just huge, huge boy. Alright, efflorescence, I already mentioned it. Simple ability, big, huge, fat circle. You place it under the melee. Usually the melee sometimes with better ranged when you have 3 ranged, but I prefer on melee because if this is like pack, tank is standing in it, melee DPS is close, and I will always stand in my heal because I know where I'm placing it. So in addition to that, I also pay attention who is not standing there, of course, because then I need to be mad on them. And ranged, if they are not standing in it, they are getting less heal, like, what you can do? It's their movement. It's not your fault. They will die because you didn't heal, I don't know, 20,000 more health to them, and they will get overkilled by 5,000. It's their fault they didn't stand in that efflorescence. So, like, don't go mad if somebody is not staying in it, or stop chasing them. Just place it on very good logical spot, and if people are not staying in it, it's not your problem. They should. But yeah, keep it always under the group. Only reason to not use it, your group is moving a lot, because it's costing you 10,000 mana, and that's quite a huge hit. So if you would be replacing it quite often, your mana is getting really big hits. So if you move every few seconds, you are on new spot, just forget about it. But usually, always have it. Even when you are healing 1-2 targets, it's still worth it, because it's another hole and it's verdancy procs and blah 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 blah. Of course, if that 1-2 target really need huge heals. If just 1-2 target is getting little damage, just forget it. But easy, simple rule, keep efflorescence under the group. If moving too much, forget it. Quite simple. Maybe I should say only this, but I like to explain so people understand. Alright, moving on. Now we have Gru Guardians, our shiny little happy trees. Very effective, huge mana effective heal. Very good because it's spot healing targets that need to be healed. Short cooldown. Just healing a lot, like 2 set piece. 2 set piece, our nourishes are healing 2 additional targets for 40% effectiveness. That means every nourish is 80% more effective, let's say. That means trees are much better with this set. We still have the same set as season 3. So anytime something is happening, anytime something is needed to heal, just use those trees. If you have 3 stacks, just use one. Like 2 stacks is still 1 recharging cooldown, but when you have 3, just don't even think about it, just click it. It's so cheap and so good. Now we are getting to our clear casting, to our set piece that made all the difference. The restored healing, mainly in dungeons. So, clear cast plus regrowth. Regrowth is big initial heal, then some heal over time. This is not important. What is important at clear casting part. So let's have a look on clear casting what it is. So clear casting is proccing 5% chance for every tick of life bloom. This is not like photosynthesis, that more over time, healing over time effects on life bloom targets have more chance to block clear casting. No. Just every heal of life bloom. That's why it's important to keep those 2 life blooms. Every heal of life bloom have 5% chance to proc clear casting. It's stuck to 2 stacks. And what is clear casting? Clear casting is making your next regrowth free of mana cost. That's boring, but we have our set piece. And our 4 piece is saying, consuming clear casting now causes your regrowth to also cast a nourish onto nearby injured ally at 200% effectiveness, preferring those with your heal over time effects. So it's choosing even good targets, it's 200% effectiveness, and it's completely another heal that is casted. A nourish is hiding over here. That's also ability what trees are casting. They just have some weaker version, but they are casting it a lot. And that have 300% bonus for mastery. That's why it's so important to have more healing over time effects. Because mastery from nourish is 300%. And we are healing through mastery. As you check my overall, nourish is absolutely top guy. So it will cast that nourish 200% effectiveness, but not only that, because 2 set is your and Gru Guardians nourishes now heal 2 additional targets. That means that 200% effectiveness free nourish will be also increased by 80% together, 40% each target. That means if you cast clear casting regrowth, it's brutal, strong, massive heal. And that's what it's all about, Druid, to be prepared for these huge heals, to have other hots for this nourish to be increased, to have life blooms, so we have that clear casting. Everything is coming together to just heal brutally high burst heals at this cast. Druid before lacked burst healing, and that's why this is so good, because this can really pump. So when you have clear cast, you have ready your huge healing and start using it. It's costing you literally 0 mana, so it's absolutely no reason to not use it. Also, when you're casting regrowth, that hot will be spread on 2 additional targets, and it's on life blooms. So if everybody is hurt similar, then don't cast it on target with life bloom. Choose target without life bloom. That means you will get 3 hot of regrowth. That's 3 hots that is increasing your mastery, and it's also healing 3 times from that healing overtime effect. That's about our, let's say, main healing, all about this applying important hots and getting that juicy clear casting procs from life blooms, and then healing with that clear casting regrowth that will do massive nourishes, of course with the trees. Now let's squeeze a little bit less important because you can survive without using them, but quite important spells. I will squeeze here Scenario Ward. It's on 30 seconds cooldown, and it's a cheap single target heal, and a little bit special on it is healing faster than others. So if you need to do some single target healing, just use it. I usually use it on tank, because when he's pulling new pack, that's usually when tanks are dying the most, because they don't have energy or their defense is up, something like that. Just they're getting more damage on start of the pull. That means I just usually use Scenario Ward when tank is going to pull something. I will use it before. When he gets first damage, it will activate it and will start healing him. So quite effective on that. Or when you need to overheal single targets, go for it. Anytime it's good to use because it's cheap and big. Another mini cooldown is our Swiftment. That is 15 seconds cooldown, and it will eat some healing overtime effect. But it will replace with another healing overtime effect that is quite decent too. So you are still getting the mastery bonus with healing overtime, and it's also some big initial heal. But that's not it. After you use Swiftment, you're also getting buff, Soul of the Forest. That means next regrowth or rejuvenation is increased by 150%, or wild growth by 50%. So, you want to use Swiftment on strong single target healing. That means you have all the hots there and you need to heal more. It will do big 150,000. That was just for a fraction of a second number there. It will do big heal, and you can follow it with the regrowth or rejuvenation with another huge heals. If you want to even more faster single target healing, you can use Swiftment. That's 150% increase healing of regrowth. Combine it with Nature's Swiftness, that's another 100% healing of regrowth. And that's absolutely huge single target heal with huge regrowth. Other use of it is to use it with wild growth when we are healing AoE. Just use it on somebody that needs more healing, or you have regrowth, some cheaper hot because regrowth is healing less than rejuvenation. Use it on that target and then cast wild growth. That wild growth is empowered by 50% and it's nice AoE healing. So for single targets or AoE targets, remember it's empowering your next heal too, but it's also healing big when you use it. Also, its mana use is just low. It's 3,500. Let's say it's almost nothing. And if you have reforestation, it's giving you 1 stack closer to the free tree. So yeah, quite important spell to use it. So even if you don't need to heal anything, you can just use that Swiftment to just prepare stacks. So when some burst damage will come, you are ready to proc that tree. So if you have 0, 1 stacks, just prepare another stack. So then damage comes, you will pop. Third one, you get free tree, you are healing more, everything is faster. That's what you want. So next one we have Wild Growth. So Wild Growth is our AoE ability. Nothing else to say here. Good to use after Swiftment for 50% boost, and it's just healing everybody in your group, is hitting 5 targets. So yeah, you need AoE healing, go for Wild Growth. Then we have Rejuvenation and Regrowth without clear casting. Priority is Regrowth without clear casting when you need a really faster healing than Rejuvenations. But if you know you have more seconds to heal that damage, Rejuvenations is better choice. Because I'm also assuming we are using that clear cast when they are ready, and we always have 2 life blooms. That means we already have 3 or 4 hots from Regrowth already applied with that clear castings. Another thing, Regrowth is costing more mana than Rejuvenation. So when we have already hots, that means you will just override it, cancel their healing, not so important. But they are increasing mastery. But when you click Rejuvenation to target that already have Regrowth hot, you will increase mastery even more, and you will increase healing of each other. So usually you have that hots from Regrowth. So then just focus, when you need to heal more, focus spread more Rejuvenations. Of course, if you need faster healing, then go for regrowth. But remember, you are going after that instant heal of regrowth. That healing over time is not so important. Of course, it's huge, but we are usually have enough of them from our clear casting procs. So that's why I'm always going for rejuvenations when I need to heal more, because I already have healing over time effect and already using those regrowths. If you start using regrowths too much, your mana will suffer a lot. So also be careful because of that part. Alright, I know it's quite a lot of abilities Druid is using. There is a lot of mechanics that works with each other. There is one spell working with another, then spell is better with this, and then is better with this, but if you don't have that, this is worse. Stuff like that, because every HOD is empowering everything, and live room procs. Yeah, so let's put it all together, a little summary. So, topmost priority, I would say even 0 priority, because you want to use it even out of combat, is to click Adaptive Swarm on cooldown. Of course, if you are lucky, you have 4 stacks on every single member in your group, then don't use it and wait. Then you are going for live blooms, huge part, and clicking Efflorescence under the group. After that, more damage is healed by spending our trees, absolutely crucial. They are not costing our global cooldown, we are going for them. So flies, live blooms, Efflorescence will be always prepared. Then we are starting to use trees when we need a little bit more healing. We're starting to use trees and clear casting regrowth. Ideally, that should be enough to heal everything. That's what we want in dungeons, just heal from this 5 things. But of course, we don't live in other world, then we are starting to use our Scenario Ward, Swiftment to a little bit more single target healing, also empower our next heals, Wild Growth for AoE. Then we are choosing ideally more rejuvenations, but regrowth if we really need to heal faster. Now about cooldowns. I already talked a little about Nature Swiftness, that combination with Swiftment, use Swiftment, then Nature Swiftness, and huge regrowth. That's absolutely the best single target burst healing you can do with the Restoration Druid. So yeah, if not without Swiftment, then it's just free of mana cost, regrowth, and it's 100% increase healing, so go for that. Sometimes you can use it on combat dress if you really need to move. There's some bosses, last boss is not good. In second phase you need to always move because there are lightnings on the ground. So that's good where to use because you don't need to stop and cast. Then we have Flourish, not as great as before, but it's still decent cooldown. Now think about it as extent of your healing over time effects. Then something you will click and you are healing much more. Is now 25% healing over time increase. Not 100, but 25 is still something, is still decent. So it will do some extra healing. So of course, when you need to heal more and more burst, it will help. The 25% still decent, but it's short and cooldown now too. So yeah, we have that for us, and also it's extending our healing over time effects. Great to use it after Wild Growth because Wild Growth is healing more on the start, and the shorter duration it have, it's healing the least. So after you use Swiftment, that will empower Wild Growth by 50% and instantly follow by Flourish. That's great combination. Then we have Incarnation, Tree of Life. So what is Tree doing? Tree is increasing our healing, all healing by 15%, then giving our ability some special powers. Also every 10 seconds our tree is active, we are spawning one Groove Guardian. Absolutely free tree on full effectiveness, and they are healing quite a lot. Also every tree that will perish on end of the duration will shorten cooldown our Tree of Life by 5 seconds, so it's not every 3 minutes, it's quite shorter, at least 30 seconds usually. Also we have Tree of Life when we proc with Reforestation. For 10 seconds, one tree, shorter duration. So our healing is increased by 15%, but then we have better abilities, so what matters to us is Rejuvenation and Regrowth. Wild Growth is just hitting more targets, but we don't have more targets in dungeons, it's always just 5, so it doesn't matter. Rejuvenation is very important during that time, because Rejuvenation is healing 50% more during the tree, and it's also costing you 30% less mana. So definitely favorite ability when you have Tree of Life up, and also your Regrowth is instant cast. But be really careful to not overuse that free Regrowth without clear casting because it's not free. So careful with your mana, but yes, you can really spam Regrowths too. but you want to use rejuvenation because it's much better for your mana, and there are 50% increase. If you are playing full healing build, we don't want to play kitty, we have innervate. We don't really need that for restoration druid in dungeons now because we are completely good in mana, but of course if you have it, just use it, and it's quite easy, self-explanatory. If you click it, 100% mana cost reduction for everything. So more abilities you will use in that window, the better profit for you. So yeah, use innervate, start clicking as many healing spells as possible, damage 2, whatever. So another, in case we have it talented, so it's Convoke, we usually use that when we are going more for damage. If you have 1, 2 targets, 3, let's say, then use it in kitty. If you have multiple targets, use it in owl, because you have that full moons and better AoE abilities overall, but yes, you are going for that full moon, more or less. If you are in tight squeeze, okay, use it for healing, but we didn't choose this talent to do healing with it, so kitty or owl. But if you don't use any form, then it's focusing on healing abilities. And if talented, again, but this should be talented, is our Heart of the Wild. It's 5-minute cooldown, but it's increasing our damage in our different forms. What we usually do with that, we are using it for kitty when we are fighting bosses, because it's quite long duration too, 45 seconds. And on trash, we often don't have that much time, depending on bosses too. But yeah, we click it, our physical damage is increased, so our bleeds and everything from kitty is hitting 20% harder, and we are also generating some free combo points. Okay, done with the cooldowns. This is the last part of the guide, and that's the time to talk about damage. I will start it a little easy. When we are full heal build, you are doing nothing else, single target, Sunfire, Moonfire, and casting Breath, AoE, Sunfire, and casting Starfire. If you don't have that many targets, it's still worth it, like 3 targets, still worth it to go for Moonfires. But when you have 5 more, just cast 1 Sunfire and start casting non-stop Starfires. That's better than just spread Moonfires on 6 targets. It's not worth it. That still apply to kitty combinations. So usually you play at least a little bit of a kitty. So let's start with a single target because it's easier to explain. So if you are starting from stealth, you are starting first from the scratches. You will spend your energy, however points you have, you don't wait for more energy. If you don't have it, just spend your energy, put the drip on because you want to go ASAP to normal form, apply your magic debuffs, and then you are going back to kitty, you have energy, you are stacking it again. If you need more rip, then you will extend the rip. Of course, rake should be always applied. Trash, we don't even have talented when you're going more for defense. If you have, it's not worth it on single. And if rip is already on long duration, just use that combo points for rip, ferocious bite. If every single bleed is applied and you don't have energy, you can just go to normal form and spam Vrat. But usually that's not happening because you of course need a little bit heal on the bosses, so you will spend that time on healing and then you need to reapply your bleeds, reapply your magic debuffs. Alright, now on AoE. So definitely Sunfire, because it's damage over time on all the targets. Second thing is Trash, because again, damage over time on all targets is like 3 times as bad as Sunfire. So it's much less important, but usually I don't even have it talented. But yeah, if you have it, then Trash and Sunfire all the time, uptime. And then if you have a big pack, you are just literally casting Starfires. Because your bleed from kitties is not worth it, applying Moonfires is not worth it, because there is just too many targets, and Starfire will definitely do good damage to many targets. But if you have like 3 targets, 2 targets, definitely you are doing same rotation as you are doing on single targets. You are just applying all the debuffs on multiple targets. So we'll apply bleed on multiple targets, and then you want to generate energy to apply a rip on multiple targets, and then you want to apply Moonfire on multiple targets. And usually you don't have time to keep everything 100%. So similar than single target, just apply on more targets. If you have too many, it's not worth it to use this single target ability, and it's just best way to do is Spamcast Starfire. It's costing a little bit mana, but that shouldn't be a problem. It's just 1,500. That will be all from me. If you want exactly the same guide in text, then hop on my Discord, link is in the description, and that is exactly what I said here, just in the text. Anyway, thank you for watching, think about liking and subscribing, it's helping me a lot, and goodbye.